Okay, this is a 𝐂𝐒𝐒𝐑 guitar lesson for Chris, and I'm entitled this Trouble with Your Picking Hand. We've been working this obviously a lot, Chris, right? Trying to get you, ready to be the next Vivian Campbell. Well, these glasses are horrible. Crooked. So, angle this up for a second. And we're coming at it from these different directions, as you know from your lessons on Skype. And I think we've hit it from every angle, using a metronome, really watching our picking hand, making sure we're muting not only with the fret hand, but with the pick hand as well. So in this, I've just given some more examples that I hope will help. And just, if nothing else, it's more stuff to work on to keep things fresh for you, to help you with this. And we're going to talk about circular picking, which is, I know, one thing that we haven't discussed. There's different ways you can pick these things, as we're finding out, right? And it doesn't mean that one's wrong. So it's good to learn both ways. Or sometimes there's, 3 ways to do something. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump in. I want to zoom a little bit so you can see what's happening on the picking hand, okay? 5 pages of tabs, which you've already got those emailed to you. And the very first thing, this is the way I set it up. You've been using your metronome, so set a BPM that you're comfortable with, and all it is, this is actually kind of the Vivian riff. But if we're gonna work on number 1 here, standard tuning, by the way, 8E, 5E, and these are just quarter notes. So whatever we pick, we stick with it. And we're going to alternate pick. Even though these are quarters, we're still going to alternate pick. 8, 5, 6, 5. Right? We're going to go twice. You can go as many as you want, but... So we count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a, counting 16s, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Sometimes when we're playing, it's easy to get lost on the click. If you get behind by 1 click, there's a 16th note, you're going to be off on the whole thing, right? So it's important to keep maybe the quarter note hit in there, or the 1, 2, 3, 4, even when you're playing the 8th notes and the 16th notes, because sometimes it's difficult to count 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That is how you count 16th notes. But if you need to do it that way, fine. But in the long run, in the end, you won't even be having to do that. We want to get this beat instilled in your head. So let me do that again. Went back, started it over. Right? Anyways, that's can be put in that whole metronome thing. But I do want you to see, a lot of times when we're doing quarters, we just downpick those, right? I don't want you to do that with this. Even though it's going to be slow on your quarters, we want to keep you in alternate picking mode. That's going to help you with those Vivian Campbell style riffs that we're working on. Alright, so number 2, E major 2-string. This is just a 6 pattern, something to work on. When you're picking, this is something we haven't really discussed, but the pick, the natural way when your hand is sitting on the bridge here in a stable place, if you watch the pick, it's not going straight up and down, right? It's got a natural angle to it. That's something that I'd like you to kind of look at when you're playing and make sure that you've got that little bit of an angle, as you're picking. That's supposed to be that way. When your hand's naturally like this, you should naturally be doing that. You have to actually work to try and straight pick down up like this. Don't do that. That's one thing you definitely don't want to do. And I don't think you are, but just food for thought, man, that we need to be thinking about. So once you play something, we want to try to keep the beat consistent. Metronome, man, for sure, or drum machine. This next one, and it's a fun one to play. Open 2/4 on the B and the E, straight alternate picking. We've got, I'll just use that tempo for now, it could be whatever. But an interesting thing, when you've got 3 notes on one string and you're alternate picking something and 3 notes on the next string, it's going to be down, up, down, up, down, up. That's why I call it a 6 pattern, because you need to get through that whole cycle for that concept to be completed and for it to make sense in your mind. That's why I say 6 pattern. So I put 2 times on it. Do as many as you want. So we're just taking it in scale increments, 2, 4, 5 on the same 2 strings. 4, 5, 7. So let's do those 3. Let's do it again. After that, that is 4, 5, 7. We're going to go to 5, 7, 9. So on some of these, I like to go 1st, 2nd, and 4th finger. I think most people would play it that way. There are people that would go 3rd finger here, but definitely lower that thumb because we're doing whole step stretches, and your thumb will actually cripple you, you know, in trying to stretch. So let that come down the back. I don't think you'll have an issue with that. I've watched you play these types of things. So okay, then the next one starts on 7, and it's going to go 7, 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 11. So I'm keeping it in that E major scale. That's why these patterns are changing. So it's, you know what I mean, you can play it in there. So when you're soloing in E minor, you know, you can now play, you know, you can play around in those little spots too, which is another thing I want you to get out of this, and is why I'm having it go all the way up the neck as well. Okay, 9, 10, 12, and 9, 11, 12. So we went. So those ones are a little trickier to memorize, and then we're going to start the next one on 10. It's going to go 10, 12, 14, 11, 12, 14. Okay, keep moving. 12, 14, 16 on both strings. Now we're an octave up from where we started, right? We started with, you know, you got B, C sharp, and D sharp. Same thing here. So we're an octave higher, but we're just continuing this concept. So potential. And as I'm picking, as you speed up, that distance that you would normally maybe want to gravitate towards when you're playing because you have all this time, if you're doing that, that gap's got to be closed as you speed up picking. That's just being economical, right? Stay as close to the string, to the target as possible. So, okay, top of page 3, we're continuing this on 14, 16, 17. Oh, we just did that one. This is 16, 17, 19 on both. So we had. Also, if you notice, Chris, you know, when you got your 6 pattern, well, notes 2, 3, and 5 and 6 are sharing notes with the next one. So you're really only adding 2 notes to the 6 pattern. See, those are shared between this. So we're just adding the to it. Okay, that's 16, 17, 19. Then we're going to go 17, 19, 21. So that's whole steps. And the same thing on the high E. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Right? And then I just ended on the 17B. Number 3, E major. This is a 4 pattern. And it's going to be alternate picking. And we're going to go open 4, 2, 4 on the high E. And the same thing on the B. Okay, so from there, we're going to go same concept, but back to the high E, 2, 5, 4, 5 on the E twice and the B twice. Kind of classical sounding, right? Kind of Schecter. Good exercise for both hands, this one. Then 4, 7, 5, 7 on both. Then 5, 9, 7, 9. So we got to lower the thumb again on both strings. As we speed up, like I said, this bass has to just really compress. Keep it right around that string. Wow, cruise through that page really fast. Okay, page 4. So that's it for that number. Set a tempo you're comfortable with. We've talked about this in your Skype lessons, that BPM range that you're comfortable with, which I think was from 100 to 120. So, and then just notate it. Every time you're able to get a new goal and you're able to hit it, write that down. So this one here, this next one, I want you to cross out, I had written, what did I write on there? 8 at the top there, and then a 4, and then a 1 down at the bottom of number 3. Think of it more so like, this is just for you to watch this hand, okay? It's just 5th fret on the G, 8th fret, 6th fret, and 7th fret. And what I want us to do here is to start it, and go ahead and write down on your tabs if you printed them off, but if not, notate it. We're going to start this as 16th notes, which would be 1E and a 2E and a. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. We're going to change from that to 8th notes. 8th notes, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So definitely a metronome one again. And then still 8th notes, but we're just going to go in 2s instead of 4s. So that one would sound like this. So these fingers end up moving faster. Changing quicker, I should say. And then quarters on the end with alternate picking. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're this is basically going to be, and I also taught it efficiency / speed. You will naturally have a slight angle. I talked about that earlier. This will allow you, because it's so pretty simple, right, on the fret hand, but I want you to be able to look at this hand and watch what it's doing and see that angle, make sure that you're seeing an angle with that pick. If you're not, try and get it to where there's an angle in there. Like I said, you probably are, because if your hand is like most people's on the bridge, it should be naturally at an angle, okay? So set that that would be your fastest, right? Is 16, so whatever you're comfortable with. So, when you got your tabs, you probably looked at this because you didn't have the video yet and thought, what the heck is that? That's all that's about, man. Could have used an open string and did everything off of an open, but I at least wanted to give it some notes so you can be working this hand out. Number 4, circular picking. Now this is going to have a lot of melodic content to it. And what that is, this is kind of cool because me and you recently started talking about this. We're going to go 13B, middle finger, downstroke. Index 12 on the high E, downstroke. Now you could leave them both down, but you'll get a little bleed through on that second note if you don't lift it. But if you want that sound, that's cool. And then up on 15E. Triple it. Down, down, up, okay? I wrote 4 times, so. And then we're just going to change the root a half step. And whatever fingers you want to go with that. I like this. So just changing the 13 to a 14.